Top posts presents, the best of, r/Askreddit. What small thing pisses you off more than usual? When your curtain leaves a tiny gap letting a ray of sunshine penetrate your eyeballs. It's always aimed directly at your pillow, too. My cats like to get in the window and the sun pierces my eyeballs before the alarm goes off. I set my bed up so it's basically on the floor and so far away from my tiny window it doesn't happen. On top of that, my window faces north. Suck on that, poorly designed houses. People who act like they're more important than everyone else when getting off a flight. People who lose all common courtesy while traveling. Holy duck. This reminds me of this one time I came home from a business trip. This lady just cuts me off and starts explaining how she should be able to cut me off to get off the damn plane first. It's like, bitch, I don't care. Just stop talking. You don't need to explain to me why you need to cut me off. Especially if you're going to take 10 minutes to explain to me why you need to get off the plane first. Like if you had just said, explosive diarrhea. Out of my way, that would have been more effective whether it was true or not, and people would get it. Duck. When I see some just leave their shopping cart in the lot when they are right next to the cart return. Was out with my girlfriend a while back and I watched a stray cart get hit by wind and barrel straight into someone's passenger door. Wouldn't have happened if someone put their cart away properly. The fitted sheet coming off the mattress in the middle of the night. It's like an alarm clock that is going off right next to my ear. Impossible to ignore. I can't fall back to sleep unless I put the sheet back on. Sheet suspenders have changed my life. Horror story, I got these gorgeous new sheets. Before I had sheet suspenders. Get into bed. Get comfy. Then creak for a solid 10 minutes, then the sheet flips off the corner and onto my head. Repeat 3 times before I absolutely lost my hit and put the sheets in the garbage. Loudest and most obnoxious sheets ever. People not letting people off the subway or out of elevators. Getting off the subway, I just keep walking through them while yelling I have to get out before you get in. That's how this works and it usually helps. I just stare at them and keep walking out. Works most of the time. The only time that happens is on school day mornings and it's like 6th graders pushing in. People who stand in front of exit entrances having a conversation. Right there. Blocking the way. Blocking the aisle in a grocery store is equally infuriating. Especially when they're standing in front of something you need. When I was 14, this miserable old couple was standing in the middle of an aisle with their cart right beside them, taking up almost the entire width of the aisle. I needed to get by, so I said, "Excuse me, I just gotta sneak by." They just scoffed at me and went back to their bitching about the prices. I went to sneak my cart by them and I bumped their cart a little bit accidentally. They got mad and the woman went off about how this damn younger generation is so disrespectful. Your mother should be ashamed in how she raised you. I told them to cry me a river and the woman lost her ducking mind. She told her husband someone needs whip that little bastard's ass. Can you believe the nerve? The husband just snapped enough at her and she gasped like he just slapped her. I may have caused a divorce, haha. Ants in the kitchen. Ants anywhere in the house. Ants. Getting home after being out all day, taking off my pants, shoes, etc. and then having to go back out for something stupid. Once my wife takes her bra off for the day, it engages a 12-hour emotional lockdown where she wouldn't step outside for a herd of the world's cutest puppies giving away gold bars. I agree. Once the bra comes off, I will not leave the house. That signifies that the day is over. The ceremonial removal of the bra is sacred. People continuing to explain something to me after I've said I know at least thrice. My old roommate was a really heavy drinker, and he'd always go into the same collection of stories when he was trashed. You've told me this did nothing. He'd still tell the entire story. After 2 years, there were stories I'd literally heard 8-12 times. It was a relief to move. I hear you. My alcoholic dad tells the same stories pretty much every time we get together. It's equal parts irritating and depressing. I love my dad so much, though. People asking questions and then not listening for the answer. I have a different job now because my last boss did this so often. Edit. A lot of people with ADD have been responding and being kind of hard on themselves for knowing they do this. So I just want to say, I don't think that's the same thing. If you're making the effort and are not able to pay attention, that's fundamentally different from just choosing not to. I have an inverse problem with a relative. I'll ask a question, and then they give an answer with no relation to what I just said because they weren't listening. Sounds like Comcast customer service. Edit. Yay. First silver smiley face. Thanks. People who always try to one-up your situation. Tell them you've got a cold and they'll respond, I've had pneumonia for 10 years or some hit. My sister dated a guy like this for a few years. It was so ducking annoying. Anytime I described something happening to me, he'd always come up with something one-up my story. I started calling him One-Up Pete. Any sticker that you can't peel off in one piece. Absolutely infuriating. Mine is specific to books. Stop putting ya gross ass stickers on my $30 book. Even worse when you get the fake stickers. Hey 10. Not covering your damn mouth when you cough or sneeze. Or when adults cough or sneeze directly into their hands. Then don't wash or sanitize. They should know better. I sneeze into elbow when at work and home. Edit. I'm not joking. I do. The type of people who can never just admit they screwed up. Doesn't matter how small the mistake is. When confronted, they always have an excuse or a story. Just ducking, say I'm sorry and move on. I don't need an essay on why you did what you did. It's not that big of a deal. I know someone that refuses to ever accept they were wrong, let alone apologize for it. They are infallible and it's so frustrating. Safe to say we don't talk much anymore. Birds that fly in front of cars. You have the whole sky, damn it. Those squirrels that sit near the road and art across the moment you get there but instead decide to live at the last second and turn back. You think you're safe and continue on only for them get confused, turn back around and die on accident anyway. Duck, as I live in Illinois. At least 2 of those every day. People walking 10% slower than you in front of you while you have no opportunity to pass them, or the group of 4-5 people who walk in a damn formation so that no one shall pass. Duck them too. I get so frustrated by this I typically bellow out, make a hole. When this technique is employed properly, the sea of people part as if I were Moses. Any slight amount of input delay on games like Mario Kart or Mortal Kombat. I played Smash Bros online once. It's horrible. It felt like it was over a second of input lag. It wasn't even consistent either, so it was hard as hell to adapt to it. I played Smash Bros online once. It's horrible. It felt like it was over a second of input lag. It wasn't even consistent either, so it was hard as hell to adapt to it. Revered elder, I beseech ye, tell us of these ancient words. Banana threads. You know those tiny cords between the banana and its skin? I find them revolting despite liking the fruit itself. It's like eating hair. Just the thought of it makes me want to vomit. I have yet to meet someone who shares my utter disgust for that wiry filth. Hello there, fellow banana thread haters, smiley face. Using Reddit on my mobile and trying to click a link but end up minimizing the comment, so I gotta go in with my sausage fingers and click on it but accidentally minimize the response. Happened to me twice on this thread alone. I get that all the time just by scrolling. Comment thread collapses and I have to look up where I was again. While at a restaurant, people just needing to have the volume on their phones turned up to max while they either listen to trash music or let their kid play some game, and said game sounds like a damn slot machine. Nobody around you wants to hear it. Also with earbuds in, something catching the cord and having them violently ripped out of your ears. Edit. Wow. Apparently my small complaints aren't so small. It's good to know I'm not the only one. And humbled to get my first ever award. Thank you. People who talk down about themselves hoping you'll disagree and compliment them. At my first job I ran into this. There was this young 20-ish woman who would always say she was overweight, only it was all the time because she wanted validation about how thin she was, and to be honest she was overly thin. One day I was sick of her crap and said, Karen, you do look like you've been eating a few too many snacks. Maybe hit the gym or something. Holy hell, did I get a death glare from her. Edit, her name really was Karen. Drivers that brake right of way to be nice. It's your turn to go ducking go. I once saw a Reddit thread asking for good general advice and someone wrote, when you drive, don't be nice, be predictable. I find myself thinking of it often when driving, so thanks to that stranger. This is what causes most of my road rage. There are traffic laws for a reason. Abide by them just like everyone else for everyone's safety. Being nice doesn't help anyone, it just causes panic reaction by everyone around you. And use your ducking turn signal. Arg. People who must always have the last word and cannot apologize without adding a but. I'm sorry you feel that way, but you gotta see it from my perspective. When there is something round in the back of my car that rolls every time I take a corner and it's too far away for me to just grab it to make it stop. Edit, thanks for the gold. Or that wherever you put it, it will still roll over. Looking at you, windshield washer bottle. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. And have a nice day.